office, it was how do we create long-term value and raise the standard of living in Lagos and in large part Nigeria. And it's really science, technology, and innovation. And so we started a number of activities, some of which I would highlight too. But I really want to stress that initiatives like this, collaborations between state entities, private sector organizations across the technology value chain are very important for us to really drive science and technology development in Lagos. From the governor, I compliment the efforts of Engineer Simbi Wabute, Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content and Monitoring Board, management and the entire staff of the agency for taking the bull by the horns and leading the charge of making Nigeria a critical player in the new knowledge economy era, which defines socio-economic development and relevance in the Committee of Nations. The concept of motivating and providing the needed exposure for our youths, particularly in the tertiary institutions, with the active support and collaboration of Enactus Nigeria through this initiative is highly commendable and worthy of support from government and the corporate sector because of the rub-off effect that the positive developments from this platform will generate. Indeed, the adopted theme, leveraging technology and innovation to drive social impact and sustainable growth, speaks to the issues of harnessing the huge potentials of technology-driven innovation. Through the empowerment of our youth, we need to drive the potential growth and development of our national economy in order to completely and effective in order to compete effectively on a global platform. We have the resources to enable our youth to thrive in a knowledge economy. Examples abound of youths who have transformed the global landscape through technology innovations to define lifestyle and culture. It is time for Nigerian youths to take a step and engrave themselves in the global technology innovation fabric. The first Science and Technology Innovation Challenge, organized by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board with the support of Enactus Nigeria, is a laudable platform for Nigerian youths to spread their wings and launch themselves into global reckoning in terms of technology innovation, design, and implementation. Our administration in Lagos State has been in the forefront of promoting technology and innovation as platforms to empower our youths to compete with their peers on a global scale and contribute to social and economic development and growth of our community. I'm highly impressed with this turnout today, particularly in Lagos State, in the Lagos State-based tertiary institutions, at the Lagos Hackathon Series, and the Ready, Set, Work initiatives to prepare and condition the mindset of our youths to become entrepreneurs and create value for themselves and the society, rather than leaving school to become just conventional job seekers. The future is here today, and we have to ensure that our youths are solidly rooted in the front lines of the new knowledge economy era. One of our administration's initiatives to promote technology-driven innovation and develop solutions to our local development challenges was the inauguration of the Lagos State Science, Research and Innovation Council in December. I think our website is right here. Last year, December, we launched the 250 million naira seed funding. And we awarded the first set of beneficiaries in September of this year. Some of the beneficiaries include some of our tertiary institutions. We awarded about 16 research initiatives across the Lagos State universities, schools like University of Lagos, Yaba College of Technology, Lagos Polytechnic. And we awarded about 7 startups, minimum of 5 million naira each, innovating in different areas like the circular economy, recycling, food security, COVID-19 alleviation. Some of our awardees are currently helping the Lagos State government in their contact tracing initiatives with COVID and hospital research resource management across state hospitals. And so Lagos State is really committed to driving long-term value creation for the state through our young people. The first set of beneficiaries of this fund had a total grant of 100 million to support the development of innovative solutions and to solve local problems using local solutions. I urge everyone taking part in this inaugural edition to participate actively, share ideas, and seek for more knowledge from industry professionals and leaders from your own growth and the benefit of our community. Indeed, your performance at this epic occasion will serve to boost the morale of other youths who will be looking forward to follow in your footsteps. I assure the participants that you are embarking on a journey that will boost your morale and add value to your lives and the society. I commend Engineer Simbi Wabute and the NCDMB and Enactus Nigeria for developing and powering this concept of the Science, Technology and Innovation Challenge for the benefit of our youth and the society at large. The Lagos State government is fully committed to partnering with the local content monitoring board and all other private sector participants to raise the level of science and technology development in Lagos State and in Nigeria. We just actually completed an innovation call out a few days ago, actually. We had a call out for innovative startups and of course for the development of STEM initiatives for our young people in schools. And I think we had over almost 200 STEM applications, which we are going through currently, and a number of innovative startups as well. So Lagos State is looking to partner with organizations in this realm to really resource our science and technology ecosystem, because we believe long-term value creation is not just by us adopting the technology, but creating our own solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that great speech. I do hope we are learning. One of the essence of coming today is to learn. Every great man today is someone who is often continuously improving himself. So if we want to get better at what we do, we must adopt the habit of always learning. And this is a fantastic opportunity to learn something. So ensure that you're living here with something new. If you keep doing things the same way, you won't get a different result. So let's ensure that we're learning and we'll do things differently and better as we go on. So moving forward, we're going to moving into our panel, a panel of discussions where we're going to be talking about several topics. And to anchor this panel discussion is no other person than Sheriff O. Badamusi, the Senior Principal Consultant for JPIN Consulting. Thank you very much, sir. It's going to be a wonderful time of questions and answers, so get ready to learn, get ready to get answers to your questions.
Which am I using? This one. You good? All right, good. Good afternoon, everyone. It's absolutely phenomenal to be here. I've just been wowed since the beginning of this event, and very, very encouraged by what the future holds for Nigeria in the midst of all things that are going on here. And I really, really do appreciate everybody here that has taken the time out to come and be a part of this initiative. I do celebrate our distinguished panel. If you permit me, I'll stand on existing protocols, but I would really, really appreciate all of you, on behalf of everybody that is here, for your time that you've taken out to really come and be a part of this, and also to spearhead this initiative. Now, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, in collaboration with the enactors, has come up with this STIC, which is a Science, Technology, Innovation competition. Now, generally, the objective of this, for those that might not have really grasped this, is to provide opportunity for Nigerian youths to be engaged, to be inspired, to be mentored, to be supported to become successful innovators, and to develop their innovative business ideas into sustainable business ventures. This challenges undergraduates far and wide across all the tertiary institutions in Nigeria to develop science-based and technology-driven solutions to problems in any sector of the economy, including, but not limited to, agriculture, education, health, climate, finance, transportation, entertainment, and retail. And we're hoping that a lot of you youths will take advantage of this opportunity. They're clamoring for a lot of things. We're looking for the next best thing. And we know that we are at the advent of the fourth industrial revolution. It's imminent. It's something that the world has already embraced, and we are already embracing here in Nigeria. So we really encourage a lot of young people to take advantage of these opportunities that come. The government is doing a lot. Private sector is doing a lot. And we do have these platforms that enable you to be able to come forward, be heard with all your ideas, all your innovations, and receive the requisite support that you actually need to forge ahead and bring success and development to this great nation of ours. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce our panelists today that we're going to be having some very interesting discussions with. I'm going to start, first of all, by introducing Mrs. Teju Abisoye. Mrs. Teju Abisoye is the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, a Lagos State government agency established to create jobs and tackle unemployment by providing skills development and entrepreneurship opportunities to Lagos residents. Prior to assuming this role, she was a Program and Coordination Director of the LSETF. She has worked across various roles in project planning, execution, monitoring, and evaluation of humanitarian projects. She also has extensive experience with government-driven entrepreneurship programs, especially You-Win, an initiative of the federal government of Nigeria. Mrs. Teju is a trained lawyer with over 14 years' experience in the socio-economic development space. She has had LLM in international trade and investment law from the University of Pretoria and an LLB from the University of Ibadan. She's also an alumni of Yale Women's Leadership Program. Please put your hands together and welcome Mrs. Teju Abisoye to the panel. Thank you.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Welcome. Yeah. Right, I'm going to introduce our next panelist. It's Mr. Olukayode A. Piton. Mr. Piton is the MD CEO of the Bank of Industry, Nigeria's oldest and largest development finance institution. He draws on significant work experience gained in both the corporate and the banking sector during the course of his over 30-year career. He began his career with Citibank, Nigeria in 1986. Prior to joining the BOI, Mr. Piton was the MD CEO of Caroline Properties Limited and Director of Excel E&P Limited. Previously, he held the position of the Executive Director of Unity Bank PLC, MD CEO at First Interstate Bank PLC in August 2004, where he successfully led the bank through a merger with 8 other lending institutions to form the Unity Bank. Mr. Piton holds a BSc Honors degree in Economics from the University of Ibadan and a Master's degree in International Management from the Thunderbird School of Global Management, Arizona, USA. He is an alumnus of the Lagos Business School, London Business School of Haggai, and the Haggai Institute in Singapore. Mr. Piton sits on various boards providing advisory and governance support He is actively involved in youth empowerment and serves as a senior pastor at the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Please let us welcome Mr. Olukayode A. Hiton. You're welcome, sir. Good to see you, sir. And joining us virtually, he's not able to be here today, is Mr. Tonye Patrick Cole. Mr. Cole is a nation builder, a philanthropist who is passionate about good governance and the socio-economic development of Nigeria through the implementation of effective policies and the involvement of her teeming youth population in the transformation of the nation. An alumnus of the University of Lagos, Harvard Business School, and a fellow of the Transformational Leadership Fellowship Program at the Blavatnik School of Governance, Oxford, Mr. Cole is the co-founder and former Group Chief Executive Director of the Sahara Group, an energy conglomerate with operations spanning the entire energy chain in Nigeria and neighboring West African countries to East Africa and beyond. He continues to inspire and positively impact African youth through his NGO, Nehemiah Youth Empowerment Initiative, which aims to influence change in Africa by bringing together young and emerging leaders to develop and implement practical strategies that will produce positive outcomes for millions. He works closely with a number of foundations in Nigeria, including the Down Syndrome Foundation, Slums to School Foundation, the Compassionate Center, and various orphanages. In September 2018, Mr. Cole made a life-changing decision to pursue a career in politics. He formally resigned from all board and executive roles held in Sahara Group to contest for the gubernatorial seat in his home state of Rivers. Please help me welcome virtually Mr. Patrick Tonye Cole. Welcome. And last but not least, I would like to invite Engineer Simbi K. Wabote as well. I believe that no introductions are needed. He's actually been here. So please help me welcome Mr. Wabote, Engineer Wabote. You're welcome, sirs. Okay, so. They need to move. Ooh. Okay, problem. I think, yes. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, so I'd like to thank you very much, your panelists, distinguished panelists, for taking your time out here. I'm just going to start with a few questions here. Sorry, I do apologize. Just arrange myself. I would like each person to actually give an explanation to the topic today. In terms of, I would like to start first with Mr. Hiton, if you don't mind, giving us sort of like a brief explanation as to what your hopes are about the perspectives about the event today.
Thank you very much. This is a very good project. That is positive. For me, we have to Nigeria is a good country.
The network calm down.
It's not what it used to be when you see all the people people have to know that the way things are, work today, you can work for yourself and IT. So for us, it's an area of support. I think we're right. We're doing the right thing.
Thank you very much, sir. Can I also invite Mrs. Radisson as well to give her insights as to what she thinks about today's event?
to the activists and all the partners for having us at LSCTF here today. I think this is a really good initiative because for us at LSCTF, our objective is really to address youth unemployment. This particular initiative shows there is a lot of work going on in the development of the technology ecosystem. We recognize the fact that a lot of jobs are created when technology companies actually succeed. Because if you look at Haga is a platform that actually employs over 17,000 people. If you look at Uber, look at these numbers. It tells you there's a lot that can be done with technology. And to encourage young people to find solutions like that can actually solve not just Nigerian problems, but things that can eventually be exported. It's a great initiative. Last year we worked with NAPTIS, the winner of the national prize, and it was just good to see what can happen, even within our nation. Thank you.
See?
Thank you so much, Mr. Radisson.
See?
I would like to invite Engineer Wilson to
snap.
share his
Pictures not clear, nice. I don't know, man. I don't feel carry my phone come on because now they use stream.
Personally, as a person, this is one of the things I'm passionate about. How do we spark the innovative ideas in Nigeria? So this program is something we thought about before, amongst other programs we're doing to drive youth participation.
Let me call create. We get one camera guy. Who they snap on the board? Yeah, I won't call. Who?
So we do not just initiate things.
Let me call and make a collection.
Where this
I won't post.
Capitalize and out there. So I really look forward to this event and the outcome of this report. Like John said, where also the Bank of Industry that is our partner is also key. Particularly technology and innovation. I'm sure we'll talk about.
Send me your email, let me send you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to also invite Mr. Cole virtually.
Type your email. Type your email. What's your email? Just put L James. Just spell it. C.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Okay. .com.
Right now
Look like that. Okay.
Also to influence and not to innovation just influence is critical.
Okay.
If there's one thing that we know, especially when I was at Sahara, we used to say that innovate or die. If you do not innovate, you are dead. And today, the fourth industrial revolution is exactly where we need to go. That is what's
give me your memory card. Copy.
So, to the young people in the room, when we started, we were under 30 when we started at Sahara, we had to innovate back then. Today, where you are and where you sit, is an intersection of something that is absolutely critical for not just Nigeria, but for the whole of Africa. And I'll just shut down with one statement. The battle for Africa is now a digital and data battle. You have China on one side, you have America on one side, and you need a third reality. And that is where Africa comes in. We need to stand up and do what needs to be done. And you are at the nexus of those two great battles, and you can make a difference. So this is absolutely timely. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Cole. I just want to let those of us that are watching online know that they are open.
There's nothing in raw.
Sessions. We are going to take about 4 questions. 2 questions.
I see some
online, 2 questions from
okay, they'll be JPEG.
Yeah.
Where's yes? Okay, I'll just speak
go back to some questions now for panelists. May I just
yeah, panelists.
Yeah.
This.
Can you share with us one?
Okay, I'm seeing the JPEG.
of how the BRI has helped to grow a youth-led innovation idea into a full business. And past.
And the light at that background is too much.
It's blinding the.
Yes.
Thank you very much. COI actually started engaging in youth in 2015. And then we have two major programs for youth.
See?
Actually,
Never put it on Lightroom.
for youth.
Yes.
It's called the GEP, the Graduate Entrepreneurship Program.
Okay.
Let
Let me copy.
And it's only for people who are doing anywhere. They are able to borrow money, they come up with their project, with access, and if that can be supported by the bank, you can actually lend them up to $2 million.
Okay.
The interest, is 0%. And security is a certificate. And we have done that well in the years, and we are still doing it. We must have been bought between 2016 and now, close to $370 million without any security apart from their certificates. We have another program called the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, and that's for young people between 18 and 35. That started in 2015. Under that scheme, you can borrow up to 5 million. Yeah, so same thing,
If you have someone
that also
who's going to be asking, who's going to be
Otherwise,
we have his phone.
So when it comes to helping the youth, we do quite a bit. We also partnership with Program Gamble, the type of trying to help the youth. We are in partnership with MTN Foundation doing that. We are in partnership with Unigo doing that. And over the years, we also do capacity development. Under the JET program, we have trained over 3,000 people. Over the JET program, we have over 7,000 people.
Those highlights.
Now what we are doing is second level training.
Very interesting.
Now we are now reviewing the program, and we are taking out of people who have made it, we're now at level 2. Thereby now we are doing training for who is not good.
So, if it's from teacher,
Because of my time, I will probably talk here. But like I said, you guys have to be okay. A lot of people.
all you do is when it's time, just to
Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to direct the next question to Mr. Biswede. In recent times, the LCTF has launched an initiative to empower youth through the biggest innovates. What has the response of youth been so far to this initiative of LCTF?
Thank you very much, Anne. So let me give a little bit of background into what Lagos Innovates is about. So we went into the ecosystem that was burning in Lagos State to say, look, what are the challenges businesses, what are the challenges young people that want to innovate, what are the challenges they're facing? And it told us three things. First, access to infrastructure, access to talent, and access to funds. So they wanted equity funding and not just loans. So we set up a program called Lagos Innovates that seeks to address these three challenges for the ecosystem. With access to infrastructure, we provide workspace vouchers to young people who have ideas and need space to work out from. It's a grant, nobody's paying us, you're not paying us back anything when you get on the program. So you can apply to be in a workspace where you then get peer mentoring, and also other types of mentoring, and to work with peers in a conducive environment. So you're not thinking about issues around power, around operations, you just face that idea and you can develop it in the right space. The second one with access to talent is businesses then begin to grow and they're not able to find the right talents to execute the ideas. So on the market, they're not able to find the right developers. They're exporting to China and to India. We started a program where we actually provide access to talent for all these businesses. And it's not just the small businesses that need the talents, it's also the medium-sized businesses. So people apply to the program, and then you get into one of the schools. The schools also sign up on our platform to learn different skills that are IT related, very strictly IT related in that space. This is in partnership with the Honeywell Group. And with access to funding, what we do now currently is we match startup founders to investors that are looking for people in the market. And the interesting thing, let me just add this, in partnership with, obviously, we're Lagos State. So last week started what we're calling the ecosystem mapping, which provides information to anybody on the tech ecosystem. So if you are interested in working in a particular area, so maybe healthcare, and your idea has started, you want to then, it will then connect you to other founders in that specific area. And of course, we have our Idea Hub, where we provide mentoring for businesses that are actually starting out. So today, we've supported over 130 businesses with the workspace vouchers. We had over 200 applications to the Idea Hub. The first cohort just finished, and they'll be doing their pitch presentation this month. A lot of work. We continue, all of these programs are available to any Lagos resident, any youth resident in Lagos, graduate or undergraduate. And that's the program at Lagos University.
Thank you so much, Mr. Busway. My next question to
Yes.
The NCDMB has been thought of mostly in terms of
If you know color, you go call rubbish. NDPCMB.
theme of the STIC 2020.
Thank you for that question. Because the understanding of money, to a large extent, is limited. It is only those who play in the oil and gas sector that have a bit of understanding. First, let's look at our mandate, which is clearly built in order to close the gap that we have in the oil and gas sector, particularly the human capacity aspect of it. When I started the statistics before the content act was enacted, less than 5% in terms of monetary value, in terms of human capacity, participation in the oil and gas sector was a huge challenge. The main thrust of the act was to see how to get Nigerians both in human capacity and also the ability to provide services to the oil and gas sector. So we focused on that. And we also know that the annual spend in the oil and gas sector over the past couple of years. Every year the sector spends about $21 billion. And it's only 3% of that was left in the country. Today we started a process to see how we claw back that amount of money that was leaving the shores of Nigeria. Today I can tell you with confidence that we'll be able to bring back about $6 to $7 billion at his domicile. Target is to bring back about 70% of
How you doing, sir? Good afternoon.
That's about the capability development of Nigerians the oil and gas sector. The other thing was, how do we get Nigerian engineers?
I need to, they are straight from the camera, so
all the profession to be part of the oil and gas value chain. I joined Shell in 1991. And when we joined there, the number of Nigerians in such a company was very limited. As a matter of fact, we were told where our potentials would get to as Nigerians being in that sector. We couldn't go beyond the supervisor. All other job was left for the experts to do. Today, as I speak, there are Nigerians who are managing directors of most of the international oil companies. A company like NLNG today almost 95% of its staff are Nigerians. Same thing with Shell, same thing with Exxon and Total. When you then talk about the upstream operations, in those days it was the exclusive reserve of the expert or international companies. Today, Nigerian companies are managing the upstream sector. Give an example like the likes of Seplat, the likes of ITEO, the likes of Radisson and Co. As a matter of fact, statistically, when Seplat took over the production of the field they manage today, they bought it over from Shell. That field was producing 20,000 barrels a day. Today, Seplat is taking that production to about 75,000 barrels a day, which shows you a phenomenal progress. And almost 99% of the staff in that organization are Nigerian. So we have done very well in terms of developing capacity and capability within the sector. The next week we asked ourselves the question, we said, look, you want to achieve 70%. How will you do that if you don't engage in research and statistics, if you don't encourage innovation in country? You will continue to depend on foreign technology. So that's the next phase we're continuing into. We launched a research and development roadmap last year, a 10-year research and development roadmap. How to bring the academia, how to bring young people, how to bring researchers in order to innovate for us to then accelerate our growth and our trajectory in the oil and gas sector. So this program is one of those programs. I'm also engaging with the academia. The other day, the Council of the Board approved a $50 million grant to support university institutions through researchers and independent researchers, and also the establishment of about in the 6 geopolitical zones centers of excellence for specific research and activities and innovation programs. So these are the steps I've taken you through our working to occupy the capacity area, occupy the human capacity sector, and how to innovate in order to get us to 70%. So that's what we've been doing today.
So you get to...
Thank you so much, sir. I would also like to direct a question to Mr. Cole virtually. As the co-founder of Sahara Energy and someone who has had a brief stint in the political arena, what do you think might be the greatest challenge with private sector or government supporting youths in leading innovation?
Absolutely. I would say that it's around policy. Going way back to when we started, just as Cindy said as well, starting Sahara in 1996 at the time, everything that we had to do and innovate was in an area where Nigerians in itself Nigeria did not have policies for Nigerians. And so long before the Local Content Act was enacted into law, we were already doing local content within an area where the policy did not exist for local content. And so we found ourselves consistently innovating and working and hoping that policy will catch up with us. Now, in today's world, what we are finding, especially within the technology and innovation space, is that innovation is far ahead of policy, which means that for those young people who are now being asked to innovate, to move forward, they have to do this within a context that policy does not favor them to an extent. And so that's where Cindy and Piton and even Teju come in, because you are seeing very progressive thinkers that are moving ahead of what will happen. A lot of young people are in the room today, and they are already being put in a position where they have to create and innovate and adapt for jobs in 5 years that don't even exist today. So ideas that they are coming up with today now, right, within 5 years time, they have to come up with things that do not exist today. And that requires a different type of mindset, both from the entrepreneur who has to innovate and from the government who has to create policies to enable this happen. And this is where that intersection is. One of the beautiful things that I see about Nigerian and about the Nigerian youth today is that they are hungry for innovation. They are hungry to do things. They are really hungry to do things. And so that space between the government and the entrepreneurs to create is a workable platform to allow innovation and entrepreneurship to thrive is where we need to go. And we don't have a choice. I believe that Peter already said that aspect of it, that the youth are too critical to Nigeria today, right now, for them to be ignored, and so we must do that. And just as an aside, when in the last year or so, just thinking about how to tap into and encourage the youth to do all of this, I decided to set up a company that invests as a cross between a hybrid PE and venture capital company that invests in the youth that have digital and technology enhanced businesses that want to move forward. And so we've already started making investments in those areas after the voluntary startup, and they are that level of where they're looking for their next funding. And so we begin to invest in that because we believe 100% in the leapfrogging tendency and leapfrogging ability of tech for Africa and from Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cole. Looking at all that, I thank you everybody for answering questions so far. One of the things that actually struck me was in terms, I'm not addressing the young people, by the way. Learning can be enforced. That's one of the things on any one of us. It is a voluntary act of the person's will. However, I believe that learning can actually be enforced. And that's one of the things that all these innovations are doing. The ability for young people, because a lot of young people, they want to engage in something that would really take advantage. A lot of the world has moved on. A lot of the way people are doing things has actually moved on. I mean, we are probably the last generation of conventional work. And these opportunities are being brought by all these different organizations. And I do implore that the youth of Nigeria will take advantage of these responsibilities rather than being counterproductive and not paying attention to these initiatives. I mean, they're here for you. So I'd just like to put that out and say, as much as possible, if you have any opportunity to be able to take advantage of this, which, by the way, it doesn't really involve too much. I mean, the funding is being provided. I would call on you to actually look at this considerably and seriously because I believe it's going to help you as a catalyst towards building the future and also building the career. So I'm just going to move on again to I just want to move on to another round of questions with our panelists. I haven't spoken about what each of the organizations are doing. I'd just like to hear from your perspective what more do you think could be done to better position Nigerian youths to come up with solutions that solve problems? This is on the back of what I've just said. Using technology or examples of problems that you think technology can offer solutions to. I don't know if you can lend the voice to something like that. I'll start with Engineer Roboto, if you don't mind.
All right. From your trajectory, I was waiting for you to start.
Sorry, I do apologize.
I was even listening at some point.
Absolutely, no problem. I just wanted to hear your perspective about what more you think should be done to better position Nigerian youth to come up with solutions that solve problems. Using technology, for example, or examples that you feel of problems that you think technology can offer solutions to.
Yeah, okay. I have your question, but I wanted you to repeat it so that our audience can also hear it, because I think it's very important that people grasp the context.
What will be the topic of this panel session?
I think as a government, in the first instance, we need to think about. I think Tony spoke about it when he talked about policy direction and policy adoption. A typical example is when we started the journey of local content. Most companies started seeing the benefits of local content, but we didn't achieve so much mileage. It was until when the act itself was enacted that we started achieving those things that I talked about, because there were strong policies, there was a legislation, and there was sincere government commitment to drive that. So what we can do more is to ensure that we look at science and technology policy. We look at Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, and sit rightly on the policy side, and that's the work of government. Sit rightly on the policy side and tackle the policy indicators that we see in the spectrum. So don't forget, we recently signed up to the African Free Trade Agreement, which now, to a large extent, does liberalize our market in Africa. And everywhere you go, they tell you Nigeria is the giant of Africa, is the giant of Africa. And therefore, the expectation of other African countries is how will Nigeria withdraw and take advantage of that Free Trade Agreement Act in order to innovate and create innovative ideas that we move on forward. So I think the first thing is how we look at our policies, how we can look at policies to support a lot of these innovative ideas and bring out the best in the youth. Because I tell you, without those strong policies, there's nowhere we can go. And that's why people speak about leadership does not need strong men or strong institutions. The second bit is that we need to build strong institutions. We don't need to be political with those institutions that will drive these innovative ideas and take us to the next level. So that we need to build. There's no politics around it. We know what is politics, but we know where we want to go to. And for me, I try that a country like Nigeria should have a 10, 20-year development path. We did it in the past. I recall my days in Junior Chamber International where we drove for the vision 2020, if I can imagine. And then we tried to establish that. But people never follow through with that vision. So there has to be that vision. I lived and worked in Dubai for almost 4 years as an expert in that country with oil and gas sector. And I saw, before I was leaving, the country had developed a 100-year strategic plan, which will outlive the current leaders. But they are looking at the future beyond the current leadership. So those institutions, those policies, those directions that government need to create need to be embedded in solid and strong institutions. Not just seminars, not just conventions, and the rest of it. We need to dissuade the mind of our youth from politics, because today the organizations that carry weight, if they sit back and want to carry out political activities, I'm sure this whole place will be filled up, because that's what they look up to, and not creativity in them to change the context in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That's amazing. Round of applause, please. I'd like to direct the same question to Mrs. Adesanya.
Thank you very much. So let me just take a
Something
different approach to this.
Something I smell it. The blue come. Like so when this event come.
So I think
Church,
that light guy. Something is
burning. Something is burning.
You should check.
Something is burning. With the creation of that thing,
something is burning.
The innovator normally begins the process of lobbying to make sure they're regulated to protect the market. We can't start to protect, we can't start trying to regulate without innovation happening. We want innovation to happen. So if you look, I'm a student of Clay Christen's Harvard Business School. And it's basically that we must not confine innovation. We must let it happen organically. We must let people create solutions, let them do things, and then post-creation. So we didn't license cars until Ford started creating cars. I'm trying to explain that. So we must let people do things, be creative, throw caution to the wind, do things that you see that solves problems. And after that, government must then take you must then push government to take responsibility so that you can protect your innovation or your creation that you have done. Today, there are things around
Maybe the sockets overload.
that
Maybe
already
one of
are
the sockets
created to help you make sure nobody takes advantage of what you've done. But we must allow people really go ahead and do things that they then see the need for protection. That's my own approach to it. I think it should come, we should just encourage innovation as a government. Right? Just like last week we did, research, just do what you need to do. And then we will find the right time to actually regulate those new things that are being introduced in the market.
Thank you so much. Fantastic. Can I direct the same question to Mr. Peterson?
People must be able to pass. Yes, people must be able to pass
Thank you very much. The approach that we took at the UI is always a bit different. When you look at the average Nigerian youth, they are smart.
I can hear you.
You know, people talk about Yahoo.
I'll send it to the
Nigerian youth.
Something they born, something they born. Now this guy they born.
And listen.
Look at the percentage of Nigerians who are involved in the
I want shake. Something, but something is born here.
But 50,000 people can be the
That's just the
So our point is to say,
which of your guys now can we talk to again?
Those pictures, and because of this light, no clear.
in a way that it is legal.
I'm coming, just give me time, please.
So, we said, okay, fine, what we are going to do, we are going to put our money where our mouth is. We are actually going to encourage these youth to be able to write those programs, but sell it. You know, so our CSR in part of industry now is not giving out money for different purposes, but actually investing money in hubs, IT hubs. We went to Ajah. We did the first one in Ajah as a pilot. And the idea is that if we have a hub, many of these graduates, young graduates, very smart, they go around with their laptops. If there's a particular place they can go, there's internet, you know, high-speed internet, they can do robotics, they can pay small amount of money for their office, you know, so they have an office, they have high-speed internet, they can do things, they can be trained, they can do robotics. And then the center was, okay, we put it up, and the idea was that let us hear it go. That center is full. You know, the youth came, they wanted to have an office, you know. Yeah, you can pay to have an office for 1 day, pay to have an office for 1 week. That center now is being expanded. So we left Ajah, we went to Bayelsa. We put up another hub in Bayelsa. Actually, to Bayelsa. As I'm speaking now, we are building hubs in Kebbi State. We are building hubs in Kaduna. And the idea that we're going to build this hub all over the nation. Every state we have one. You know, we can generate a employment for these people. So rather than they doing Yahoo, you know, make it a proper business. Because if and
When I don't speak people, I know they do.
some of those money will come.
Oh, money go come fast too.
They are doing things they could not do before. Because look, today you can be Nigeria and be Harvard. You can be Nigeria and be Oxford. You know, but you cannot be studying. You know, some of these libraries of these universities are free. But you must have good internet connection. So if you can go to that kind of place that we have built, for instance, and the fees are very minimal, the idea is to bring down the cost. Just to make sure that you have enough money to keep it running, so that you don't have to support every year. You know, you can do it good. Some of these people who are saying that school are shut down, they are not studying. They can do master's degree, you know, in the house. Because we are sure that your lectures will be here every day. You can do your assignments, you can send things back. It's not that you are using no point to go high speed. We actually partner with Nigeria, very high speed. So I think, you know, the country, organizations have to invest in bringing this. You know, because we need to invest for the future. Like I told you, you know, some of the jobs of tomorrow, are not probably even there today. Before, many years ago, somebody will tell you, I work for IBM for 25 years and I retire. People will work for a company for 30 years and then they will do 30 years long service award and give you a grandfather clock.
So, when I go to state,
people are changing jobs every 3 years. People are working with themselves. That is the job that we are in. Nigerians are smart. Let us see how we can convert. Look, if Nigeria is able to convert energy
tell him what to do.
And make them to be creative and productive. We will make money.
The what?
That's your
Competition.
What is Apple selling?
about us, their words, how to apply this very important.
How much is Apple worth compared to what you have in Nigeria that we're trying to do?
So these ones are just, these are
It's great.
the same way it is in this side.
Every country you go to in the world.
Try to snap it as something.
And also the
One or two
live chat,
Nigerians.
remind them of the live chat.
And then when they work in the US, Nigerians are very good workers. In the UK, they are fantastic. I don't know the problem with us. When they come here, there's a problem.
Okay. I guess just to make it clear, I think the point is not about regulation. The point now is about creating the enabling environment. And I think that's the point you make. And that is the rule of government. Because I tell you, if you allow people to need to innovate and you don't give them the enabling environment, they will do the way and we are done. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to direct that question also directly to Mr. Cole, if you
I've been having such a good time. So I think when you're better, you can laugh at us with like, thank you. But look, these are very, very, very serious issues, and I really want to call Nigerian youth to believe in themselves. As we were getting to when we were turning 40, so that's about 12 years after starting Sahara, and so about a decade later, maybe about 10 years after, it occurred to us back then that myself and my partners and the company that we all thought was young had started getting old. And the technology had begun to shift in 10 years, and this is back in 2006. 10 years, technology had shifted so much that it became necessary for us to review ourselves and figure out how do we survive into the next future. The only way we had to do that was that we had to say that they would innovate. We were giving the environment, and what Cindy just said, the free environment to express themselves. They went into countries, they were not afraid. They met ministers, they met presidents, they were just given the confidence that you can get moral and right way. You can imagine the potential that can be unleashed. Now, I saw it inside our company, and I'm telling you, the age bracket of the people who made the biggest difference were all under 29. And all we did was keep them steering using experience that we had. Within 15 years of starting that program, Sahara has not been the same. Within 15 years. And all it took, young people who were under the age of 30. And I repeat this over and over again. Why? Because the mind and the way they think is totally different. They are ready to move. They are not afraid. They have a zeal. And once you make them understand that their input is critical and it will be listened to and accepted, that's it. They've gone. And so when we are today and what Cindy and Victoria and Teju are doing from the government perspective, you cannot underestimate it. Believe me, this is exactly what we need in Nigeria. Men and women of this caliber who will sit down on the other side of the table, that's the government side of the table, and allow that environment for you, the youth, to express yourselves. And I am guaranteed that once you express yourself and you are allowed to do it, Nigeria will not be the same. That much I'm sure about. And so kudos to everyone here. We will believe in the youth and let's keep it going.
Thank you so much, sir. I think this is obviously actually
me, I don't get that.
Okay. Add to the fact that as government we must create a living environment, and then we should we would also find those synergies, because to take that those synergies between the private sector and the public sector that can encourage the young people to innovate. Like the idea, what we talk about, the idea hub, where you bring mentors from different sectors to actually help people, younger people in that space that want to find things, innovate with relation to that particular sector. So yes, we must create the environment, we must create the infrastructure, and we must help people, we must help new founders meet with other older founders in that space.
Thank you very much for your responses. We're going to take some question and answers from those that are watching virtually and also from here. And apparently we're actually going to take one question as well from the press here today and observing us. So I'm going to start with the questions here. Is there a mic down there? Yeah. We have two questions that are going to be asked here. You can ask a question and direct it to whoever you want to respond and how.
Good afternoon. My name is Sam Zerido from Native Intelligence. I have a question for the madam. In relation to what your organization does to help youth, I think there's a root cause, which is that most youths in the educational institutions don't have the right equipment. So I get people who come and do the COS program, and they're still being taught typewriting, shorthand. So I don't know if your organization is working closely to the Ministry of Education to address that issue. Just to address what Peter said in relation to them learning Yahoo, if you have people who haven't used a system, and the first thing they're being taught is Yahoo. That's the only thing they're going to know. And also to address what you said in terms of job employment, when you talked about Uber, GoCada and the rest have been expunged. I thought that there was going to be replacements that would be Nigerian owned and that would be regulated. The issue was the safety of Nigerians. Sensors now that you can use to see how many times someone breaks.
It's a small space there now, space days. Not really what you want right now.
And there's also another concern because machines are learning faster than human beings now. So in terms of, human beings actually keeping up with Nigerians with the current educational status that we have. It's, I don't know what your organization.
If we look at the screen and read it up.
And then one more question for Sapito. In terms of the BOI, yes, there's a lot of funds.
Why am I doing it on slide?
But there's the inflation rate, there's the issue of forex. The data that the BOI has, how are they using that to create a synergy? So if I'm asking for a fund to make shoes, is there a company that BOI has given a loan to make rubber or leather to complement that my industry?
We'll take other questions and answer.